Before we begin at ancient Roman art, let's retrace our steps. In the Paleolithic era of the prehistoric period, we studied the cave art created by the Cro-Magnons over 20,000 years ago. And then come the Neolithic era with its large ceremonial work such as Stonehenge. Egyptians flourish in the Bronze Age and start using metal. Romans produced art in a vast array of forms, although they only imitate their artwork from the Greeks. Like no other civilization before it, Roman art became accessible not just to the wealthiest, but also to the lower middle classes. Although Roman art is a copy from the ancient Greeks, Romans were obsessed with technology and very successful in using it to make things bigger, better, faster and stronger. Today we will take a look at some main Roman arts like architecture, sculpture, painting, and the mosaic. There are four main technologies that the Romans used to create monumental buildings and structures. Unlike on the later architecture, that uses the lintel and post method, which are limited in terms of durability, the Roman invented the arch, or the stone arch design. Second would be the development of concrete, as they are the first Western civilization who extensively uses concrete, while the Greeks used limestone and marble for their building. The third would be the science of surveying, which made possible the building of the roads and the aqueducts. The dome, another Roman innovation that was not something that they invented, but something they perfected and took to a higher level than anyone had before. The Pantheon is one of the most impressive structures in Rome. Its dome is constructed with 5,000 tons of concrete and commissioned by Emperor Hadrian to honor all Roman gods. Perhaps the most popular architecture of the Romans is the Colosseum. Seating around 50,000 people, was the greatest amphitheater in Rome. Sculpture is another important category of Roman art. Sculpture is another tradition they inherited from the Greeks, but they did contribute a few developments. There are four characteristic types of Roman sculpture: the freestanding, the bust, monuments, and the sarcophagi. Freestanding figures have the solid mass and frontal stance of models, but their forms are more dynamic. Another popular Roman art form is the bust. A bust is a sculpture or cast representation of the upper part of the human figure, depicting a person's head and neck, and a variable portion of the chest and shoulders. The interesting Roman artwork is monuments, triumphal arches, and triumphal column. Big part of this monument is called narrative relief. Narrative relief is a curving in the structure that tells a story to commemorate great battles, commemorate the defeat of their enemies, and the great exploits of their emperor or some important person. These artworks were erected all over the Roman Empire. Another characteristic of Roman sculpture is the sarcophagi. Sarcophagi is common and still can be found on the present Italy. Sarcophagi is basically a tomb above ground. Around and on the tomb are carving of the deceased, whatever they believed about the afterlife, commemoration their life, or just the important thing to the deceased, thing that they did, or exploits. One of the most popular historical events of Roman Republic was the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in the year 79 AD. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius was very catastrophic, but in the world of historical arts, this is a fortunate event, as most of the Roman paintings were found in the city of Pompeii and Herculaneum. These are the Roman cities that were covered in ash after the eruption. And everything that was in these two cities that wasn't destroyed was very well preserved under the ash, including the paintings. One reason that the paintings were preserved by the eruption, because Roman painters, like the Greeks, they used fresco method of painting. Roman paintings have a wide variety of subjects: portraits, landscapes, animals, everyday life, still life, and mythological figure. Mosaics, otherwise known as opus tacellatum. It is an art process where an image is created using an assemblage of small pieces of colored glass, stones, tiles, or other materials. The ancient Romans used mosaics to decorate their walls and their floors in both public buildings and their private residences. The full image is a Roman floor mosaic in the House of Fun Pompeii, dated 100 BC. The whole mosaic depicts the battle between the armies of Alexander the Great and Darius III of Persia. As Rome slowly lost its status as the hub of the empire, Roman art began to decline as well and gave way to new styles and techniques. Byzantine art would fill Rome with cathedral and basilicas, inspired by the design and construction techniques of ancient Rome. More than 800 years later, Roman art would inspire of breathtaking art during the Italian Renaissance.